Hey guys, this is Chuck with Pro Eagle. Today we wanted to show you how to rebuild your jack. The only thing that's really going to go out on your jack is the pump itself, or you may have a part in here that may be broken or bent or whatever. All of the parts and pieces are available on our website. The pumps are available on our website. If you see us at any event, bring your jack to us and we'll rebuild it for free for you. Or watch this video and we'll show you how to rebuild the jack itself. This is our 3-ton jack. How to rebuild this jack is the same whether it's a 1.5 ton or 2-ton or a 3-ton. So we're going to show you how to do it on this jack. One of the biggest things to keep in mind on the pump itself is it comes with these springs that hold the plungers down in place. Do not remove these springs until the very last minute, until you absolutely have to. These keep these from overextending and coming out of there. The most common issue people have is they remove these springs, then the plungers overextend, it dumps out all the oil, and then they have a jack that no longer works again on a brand new pump. So you're gonna start off with removing all of the hardware. We removed the tires and wheels off of this jack, but you'll have to remove every nut and bolt from the side plates, including this one, and then you'll remove the snap ring here and the snap ring here to pull this pin out of there. These pieces here are pressed into the side plate so they won't come off. So you need to remove that so that these come away from the jack with the side plate. So you'll remove the snap ring from each side. You don't actually have to remove each side. This will push out of there, pull all the way through, save your parts and pieces. And now you can start removing all of the hardware from the side. The first thing you need to remove is the lower skid plate. So it has hardware all the way down the side. Remove all those bolts on each side and then pull the skid plate off. All right, so as I try to loosen this bolt here, you can see the whole axle is spinning. So sometimes it's easiest to start the nut back on one side just so that it's snug and it keeps the axle from spinning in the hole. So what we're doing is putting the nut back on the other side with the lock nut. We'll snug it up and that will allow us to break this one loose. So now that that one's broken loose, you can come back to the other side and pull that one back off as well. On this particular bolt here, you're going to have the same issue. You're going to have to crack one side loose and then snug it back up and then crack the other side loose, and then they should both come out. So what we found on this one is one side will break loose and the other side doesn't want to. So you can just remove one nut from one side and then slide this piece out. All right, so now that all the hardware has been removed, we'll separate the side plates so that we can access the pump. As you can see, the axles are a different size on the inside of the shaft itself, so they're sandwiched in between the side plates. They won't come out until you remove the side plates. Now this is showing what I meant about this nut wouldn't break loose, so you can pull this whole piece out of the arm itself and leave it attached if you can't get the nut off. So the next thing you need to do is separate the pump itself from the lift arm. If you can pull this piece out of the way, now you can access these two clips here. There's one on each side. Remove those C-clips, and then these two arms will separate, and you can put the new pump in its place. So now the old pump is out, and we're ready to put the new pump in. You don't need to remove these two springs that hold or this clip that holds the springs down. Wait to do that until the very end. Now that that pump is in place, we'll put the clips back on and reverse all the steps to put it back together. One of the many things that we've learned over the years is that we've upgraded all the hardware from mild steel to stainless steel. So the stainless steel hardware pack is available on our website. It won't rust. If you keep your jack outside, it'll keep it nice and new looking for years. All right, so now that we've got the hardware set up, I've got all the lock washers on the bolts, and we've got them somewhat separated where they needed to go. We'll start the reassembly process. One of the things you want to make sure that you do, I always tell people to take pictures, take video of the jack before you start taking it apart. There's that piece right there that I would have forgotten if I didn't remember and haven't done this 100 times. But you at home that's only done it once, you're going to forget it. So take pictures, take video, so that way you know what pieces go where as you start to reassemble. As you can see, the axles are different lengths. The shorter axle goes up front, the longer axle goes in the rear. This is the tricky part here. This piece will get sandwiched in between these two side plates as well, but this piece and this piece are pressed in. So you have to put it in place and then put the side plates together so that it sandwiches this in the middle. All right, now that it's mostly together, we'll start putting our hardware in place and tighten things up.
Is there any specific order that the bolts should go in?
Nothing. You want to run everything in just hand tight before you tighten anything down. That way, if you do forget a part or piece, it's easy to take back apart. But also, some of the parts need to shift and move around a little bit, so leaving them just hand tight allows you to be able to move those parts as you're doing it. All right, so we're going to put this piece back into place. What this does is goes in between the two side plates and prevents this handle socket from pivoting too far forward and allowing the springs and the plungers to overextend out. So we'll remove this. We'll remove this keeper here so that the springs can move. We'll make sure that they're seated underneath this properly, and then we'll put this into place and bolt it in. So again, just be careful when we remove this keeper so that your plungers don't overextend out too far. that that's out of the way, this can get seated underneath there. You have to push them down by hand so that this gets seated underneath there. Otherwise it starts pushing on these sideways and will bend them, and then you're gonna have to get a brand new pump. This is where sometimes it's easy to have, if you've got a friend that can help you out or an extra person to hold things in place. But this will have to stay down as you get the bolts started back into this so that it prevents it from moving too far forward. Okay, now that that bar is in place, this will prevent that from moving too far forward, and you continue with putting the hardware back in place. Once this is out of place, this is the keeper that held the springs in place. So once this is out of place, this is garbage, you can throw it away. As it goes back together, don't forget this piece here. This piece goes right about here underneath the lift arm. So you'll have to move the lift arm up and place it in place. What this does is prevents the lift arm from dropping too far down below the jack. At this point, if you wanted to, you can put this piece back in so that these side braces are connected to the lift arm. So don't forget the two spacers. One goes on the outside, that goes into place. Get rid of the jack there. Put the spacer on the wrong side. As you can see, I even made a mistake. I put the spacer on the wrong side. So this goes through first, and then the spacer goes on. The other spacer will go here. The arm comes up, and then you put your snap ring back in place. Yeah, and we just start tightening things up. All right, guys, and that's it. That's how you rebuild your 3-ton jack. We put a new pump in this one. We'll put the tires or wheels back onto there, and it's ready to go back to the customer. If you have any problems or concerns, or you need to contact us at all, the link is below. Click that link and send us an email or give us a phone call at any time.